Music told the stories that the headlines couldn't. From the shebeens to world stages, it was exile music, freedom music. The more they tried to silence it, the louder it played.
I was playing during hard times where we were being called names by the previous government, where we were called loafers, people who don't know what to do and what they want in life. So I was one of those. For that matter, I was once arrested just for carrying a guitar in the street, you know, at Chabavu. Then we were hauled into that big truck which is called Umkomo.
The Nationalist Party government felt that at that time black people were not allowed to sing in English, number one, and there were no. If you made music, you have to make music for a specific channel. Like if you spoke Zulu, they would say, right, your music belongs to Ukozi, and of course that was Radio Bantu, Radio Zulu at that time. And if you sang music in Sesotho, you were not allowed to sing in English, you know, because if you sing English, they think you think you're clever.
Music and theater was the only way in which we could convey a message to the superiors, to say, guys, no, it's too much now.
You are required to report at the Bantu Affairs Commission of King Williamstown within 3 days of the above-mentioned date. You should have been at home yesterday.
With little more than bare stages and bold words, South African actors turned monologues into manifestos. They performed under threat because silence was complicity.
The only proof of black people that they truly existed.
I remember, after like 76 riots, and there was basically like a mushroom of performances of theater plays, of poetry. I mean, I remember people like Ingwapela Madingwane, who wrote an amazing poem called Africa My Beginning, Africa My Ending. They came from the east to the west with hatred and disease in their skins and a burden to harden our lives. Exploiters of Africa, Africa my beginning, Africa my ending. The vibrancy of actually articulating the pain and the struggle of the people was always there in the theater. And that, even resulted in plays like Bowoza Albert, which was created by Mbongeni Ngema, Pesin Mtoa, and the late Bunny Simon, who was the co-founder of the Market Theatre. And, and there was Woza Albert, Asina Mali, which was done by Mbongeni after he did Woza Albert.
It ended up being like a slogan to face the government that we won't pay rent. Asina Mali. We don't have money, so we won't pay rent. There was a lot of, we performed this, for instance, the one that I was in was the second version of Asina Mali. The original one was overseas, and then there was a demand locally for Asina Mali. Then I happened to be in that group. Mbongeni roped me in.
The show we were doing then, it was after Maklumula. Bereza Lord Why. It was protest theater. It was politically inclined. And these guys are a church thing. Why Lord? There are so many sins. Where did you go wrong and whatever. And then the security branch, they noticed or they realized the political note in it, and then it was banned.
Films were banned, cameras confiscated, but the reel never stopped rolling. Film documented the untold, the grief, the anger, and the hope.
There was racism, but with the film industry, I would say it wasn't that much, because of the white film company owners They knew that this is their bread and butter. They tried by all means that we don't feel the apartheid and then we don't feel the segregation between whites and blacks. But though it was there, because even if we can be in one production with white actors and black actors, you'd find that black actors were being, like when we go for lunch or whatever, we had our separate places and whites had their separate places. But it went on and on until that thing was no more. So we had to mingle with white actors and be one. And that's the first industry that we thought it didn't have much apartheid, because we were mixing with white actors already.
Is that show amalgamate everybody, regardless of their race or creed, regardless of their language, which says to us, we are all one people, even if we talk different languages, but we are all one people, and we can still communicate. You can communicate in your language, I can communicate in my language. I may miss there and there, but eventually I get the message. And like in marriages, Mtswana omnyala Mxhosa, Mxhosa omnyala Mupedi, and so yes, we said that through the arts, and the art is another mouthpiece to transcend different messages. It may be gospel, it may be political, it may be social, but hey man, art is a space. Musically, through acting, through crafting, through drawings, whatever way we can express ourselves.
I am now in a position to announce that Mr. Nelson Mandela will be released at the Victor Verster prison on Sunday, the 11th of February at about 3 p.m.
Then came the turning point. Mandela walked. The people voted. The stage lights of resistance faded into a new dawn.
He came down to address the people. My group was also invited to come and perform, and Mandela loved the children. So I so happened to get my hands, like shaking Mandela's hand. Hey, I was thinking twice as to whether I should wash this hand. Most of my kids were saying, no, we're not washing our hands anymore. Not now, because we've been touched by an angel, you know.
I thought, you know, things are going to be wow, you know, because we've been hearing about Mandela, who was fighting for the country and who was fighting for black people and all those things. I thought maybe when things are going to change, they are going to change that maybe we get a better life. Though we do have a better life in many things that we get, but we are still not there yet, you know. There are still loopholes in being free and all those things. But like I said, as time goes on, things might be much better than they are today.
I see poverty on a regular basis. Every day I see these people walk up and down, pulling plastics, pulling trolleys just to go to the dump so that they can make a living. Do you call that freedom? No, it's not freedom.
Freedom, it means to be liberated, to be where you want to be, when you want to be, to as long as you have equipped yourself, go to school, you learn, you're able to survive. And without race or creed, that's what it means to me.
The struggle was waged with fists and with words, with bullets and with bass lines. From the smoke of Sophia Town to the spotlight of freedom, South African artists played their part. The curtain rose and never came down. In every frame, in every note, with every line, freedom still sings.